Yep, that's me. Now, you're probably wondering why I'm selling all my items in a Challenger solo queue game. Let me explain what's going on. It all began on a stormy evening, on the 6th of July. I was duo queuing with my dear friend Tanu, who disclosed to me that Shen Help, the only other Challenger Shen main, my friend and my rival, had discovered a new mechanic on Shen. To understand this trick, we need some background knowledge on how the undo button in the League of Legends shop works. The undo button can be used to revert purchases as long as you have not left the fountain or entered combat. So in most cases, casting a global ultimate like Ezreal ult or Cartus ult will disable the undo button because your champion entered combat by dealing damage. But wait a second. Are you thinking what I'm thinking? Shen's ultimate doesn't deal any damage. What Shen Help found out is that you can sell all your items, buy AP items, use Stand United on an ally for a massive shield, and rapidly press the undo button during the channel time of your ultimate to revert your inventory back to normal, the way it was before. This is actually pretty insane, considering the almost 200% AP ratio on Stand United, depending on your ally's current health. Just imagine every time you ult from your nexus, your ultimate shield is like 1500, just a massive shield. It's like a global Kale ultimate. Wow. But as always, there's a risk involved. If you screw up your undo clicks during the channel time, you will teleport and be stuck with the AP items, which can potentially be a game-losing mistake. But if you could master this technique, the reward would be enormous. My first thought when I heard about this was, what items should I buy? We can treat the problem of choosing the items as a linear optimization problem, where we want to maximize the shield amount by buying items with gold. In addition to looking at the pure ability power given by items, we would have to consider A. Heal and shield power, and B. Unique passives like Rabadon's Death Cap % AP increase and Ardent Sensor's on-hit buff. This was when it hit me. There was a way of making this trick even better. Cooldown Reduction. Shen's ultimate has the longest base cooldown of any ability in the game, tied with Cartus' ultimate at 200 seconds on rank 1. Stand United's cooldown starts at the moment you cast the ability. This means that the cooldown reduction you have from items while casting will determine the cooldown of the ability. Now you have probably realized what I'm hinting at here. You can buy cooldown reduction items in the fountain, cast Stand United, undo those purchases, and effectively reduce the cooldown by 30 to 40%. This is where this trick starts to be really powerful. We are basically reducing the cooldown of Shen ultimates you cast from the fountain by literal minutes in the mid-game. Here's a quick guide to using this mechanic optimally in your games. Number 1. Set up an item set with cooldown reduction AP items. Here is the item set that I quickly calculated to be pretty optimal for using this trick. So we have this component here called Ultimate, and I have added items that I want to buy when I cast my ultimate. So in the early to mid game, you want to buy Forbidden Idol, Fiendish Codex, and what is this? Kindle Gem. Yes. You could also add Lucidity Boots, because sometimes, it's pretty rare. The thing is, I like to run Transcendence on Shen. So at level 10, I'm hitting Transcendence, so I get 10% CDR. So I only need to buy 30% CDR to finish my 40% CDR, you know? So then the items that we want to buy for our ultimate, you could also go Mikael's, because Mikael's gives you 20% heal and shield power. But I like Ardent because it gives 60% AP and I think it's optimal. I haven't done the math. I was about to do just a small linear optimization or linear programming to see what works best. But the thing is that this is like discrete mathematics, because items cannot be quantified as continuous. So it will be a bit more difficult than I originally thought, but it's still doable. But I'm pretty sure that Ardent Sensor is better, because this gives 60 AP and Mikael's doesn't. So when you have the gold, I would go for Ardent Sensor and actually Hextech GLP, because this has the best stat line and cost for a 20% CDR item, considering Shen's ultimate. So when you have the gold, you want to go Ardent Sensor and GLP, and then buy AP. That way you always hit 40% CDR for your ultimate. And otherwise, just buy AP on top of that. And before you hit these items, you want to buy components to hit 40% CDR. Number 2. Change the hotkey for open shop to something you can press quickly. So for me, if we go to client settings or in-game settings, hotkeys, it's probably in menus. Or is it actually an item shop? Yes, item shop. So we want to bind open shop to something that we can press reliably. So for me, I actually did this before I found out about this trick, because I wanted to decrease the time that I spend while shopping, because as Shen, you might sometimes have to shop in your ultimate, like this trick proves that you have to do it. So anyways, I have it on G, it's easy for me to press, it's next to flash. Sometimes I misclick it, but I'm getting used to it, so it's pretty good to have it here. And number 3, when executing the trick, buy the items you want to keep first, then walk out of the fountain, then walk back in and sell your items. This way you won't undo the purchases of the items that you actually want to keep, and you will only undo the selling and get back to the final state of items that you actually want to keep, if that makes sense. Lastly, I want to touch on the morality of this mechanic, trick, or whatever you want to call it. It's in the grey area of what's allowed, and I have a feeling Riot might remove it soon. But in my opinion, it cannot be considered as blatant bug abuse, like the Poppy Global Q bug. Riot can choose to remove it if they don't want it in the game, so we'll just have to wait and see what happens. If you enjoyed the video, consider subscribing. 75% of my viewer base actually isn't subscribed to me, which is kinda whack. I mean, if you watch multiple of my videos, might as well smash that subscribe button. Or don't. I'm not your dad. Thanks for watching.
I know she won't be good for me.